This is a WCBI First Alert Severe Weather Update.
We're breaking in for live tornado warning coverage right now. New tornado warning has been issued for Pickens County. That's going to go until 12:45 this evening. Area of concern is right now just to the south of Pickensville. This is moving off to the northeast at the moment. We'll go ahead and pull up some of the latest information on this storm and putting out some updates on social media as well. We'll go ahead and pop up the velocity product on this. And again, the area of concerns where we've got these brighter greens next to these brighter reds just to the south of Pickensville, south of Highway 86. It's going to be approaching Highway 14 here within the next couple of minutes between Pickensville and Aliceville. Again, this is moving off to the northeast and ultimately will impact areas like Carrollton and Gordo if it can hold together. Now, again, this is not a tornado-prone environment. This isn't an environment that's really too supportive of tornadic development, but we could potentially have a spin-up ongoing here. We'll put the shear rate on here, give you a better idea of where this rotation is occurring and clean up some of the mess. Again, we see some of those brighter greens here south of Pickensville. That's where we do have that rotation popping up, and that's prompted a tornado warning. We'll take a wider view of what's going on right now, and really the worst of the weather starting to push into Alabama. We have this one tornado warning in effect here for Pickens County. Also have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Lowndes County, although that storm has now pushed into Pickens County as well. The only real severe thunderstorm warning we have left in our area is for Noxubee County, and that is about to push into Pickens and into Sumter County, Alabama as well here within the next couple of minutes. But the area of concern here is in southern Pickens County. We'll pop a storm track up on this storm and the area of concern, and again, this will be heading towards Beavertown by about 12:15. It's going to stay mainly to the south of Pickensville and north of Aliceville here. Beasley by 12:22. Owens by about 12:27 this morning. And again, most likely this is a spin-up type situation. I don't expect we'll be on the air very long, but obviously we do have the potential here for this spin-up tornado right here to the north of Aliceville, between Pickensville and Aliceville. It's going to be crossing State Highway 14 here within a matter of moments. Again, if you're in Beavertown, Saps, Carrollton, going to be go ahead and getting in your tornado safe place right now. Lowest floor of your home, away from doors and windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Interior bathrooms, closets, and basements are where you want to be. Nobody needs to be driving right now on State Highway 86 from Pickensville to Carrollton. Nobody needs to be traveling right now on State Highway 14 from Pickensville down to McMullen. Again, possible tornado is going to be crossing State Highway 14 here, really crossing it right now towards Beavertown and moving ultimately towards Saps. Again, you see that circulation there passing or crossing Highway 14 right now. We get that shear marker popping up there, and we'll zoom out just a little bit. Let you see where this thing is heading. Ultimately, this thing's going to be tracking pretty close to Carrollton, and if it could hold together, Reform and Gordo would be next in line. But again, you see that little notch right there. That's the area of concern moving off to the north and east. But if you're watching us right now, you're in Starkville, you're in Columbus, you're in Tupelo, wondering what's going on, mainly just rain. That's pretty much for the rest of us what we're dealing with for the next couple of hours, just these showers that have developed back behind this line of storms. The atmosphere is stable for the most part back behind this line. So again, the severe weather threat, once you get past this line of storms, is basically over for you. But we do have this one tornado warning now for Pickens County that goes until, I believe it's 12:45, excuse me, this morning. And again, we do have that tighter circulation that is developed on this storm, and it is crossing State Highway 14 right now to the south of Pickensville, and will ultimately be moving towards Carrollton. And again, Beavertown, Saps, Lois Springs, Beasley, Dillburg, you need to be in a safe place right now as this thing continues to move off to the north and east. This thing's going to stay just to the north of Aliceville and McMullen. Technically, Aliceville, you are getting clipped by this polygon, but the rotation is to the north view, moving off to the north and east. I don't think this is going to be an Aliceville issue, but if you are in Pickensville and Carrollton, good idea to be in your safe place right now. Definitely Beavertown. This thing is crossing State Highway 14, also known as Columbus Road, and ultimately, if it can hold itself together, will be crossing State Highway 17 pretty close to Carrollton, and that's probably pretty close to where it's going to cross State Highway 86 as well. And like we said, we don't want anybody traveling on State Highway 86 between Pickensville and Carrollton. Nobody on State Highway 14 between Aliceville and Pickensville. Would also suggest we probably don't want anyone traveling on Highway 82 as well. But again, the area of concern now, crossing State Highway 14, again, we'll point this out for you right in here. That is the area that is prompting this tornado warning. That little circulation right in here, again, when you see those bright greens next to the bright reds, it's typically an indication of rotation in the atmosphere, and that's what we've got going on. The main issue we've had with these storms all night has been straight line wind damage. For the most part, it's been to the south of our viewing area. In fact, almost all of the damage issues have been south of us. There's been a couple of reports of damage in the northern half of the viewing area, but for most of those were just trees down, things like that. Again, the one reason that we're here right now is this tornado warning in effect for Pickens County. In effect, just the latest from the National Weather Service, all other warnings for our viewing area have expired. Again, we do have this severe thunderstorm warning for Sumter County, Alabama, but the reason we are here is for this Pickens County tornado warning. We've got that rotation that has popped up fairly quickly. We'll be keeping an eye on things. Jacob Dickey is out in the field. We don't have his live stream at the moment, but he's got an eye on this rotation. If he sees anything with this, we will let you guys know as soon as we get that information from him. Just going to check here and see what kind of information we've got coming in on the National Weather Service chat. And again, we are in constant communication with them, and they'll provide us with any information that they get. And we pass along any information we get to them as well. But again, that area of concern now moving to the south of Pickensville towards Beavertown, and ultimately will be approaching Carrollton. And if it can hold itself together, would cross Highway 82 between Gordo and Reform. It's going to be sort of an iffy situation. Again, the atmosphere not exactly overly supportive of any long-duration tornadoes or anything like that. This is mainly a high wind kind of setup, and even then, it's sort of a marginal severe weather setup for the rest of the evening. But we do have this rotation that is spun up here in western Pickens County. Again, you see that tornado warning going to go into effect, or stay in effect until 12:45 this morning for Pickens County. But once this thing pushes east to the county line, it'll be into Tuscaloosa County. It'll be a Birmingham television market problem, but we do have this one tornado warning still in effect for Pickens County. We want to keep people up to date on that. If you're watching us on the Mississippi side of things, not that much going on. We do have some thunderstorms, really more like rain showers, rolling through Lamar County at the moment. Again, not much lightning with these, and this is not severe. The reason we are here live on WCBI right now is a tornado warning for Pickens County. That will go until 12:45 this morning. And again, not necessarily that classic tornado look, but what we're looking at is this region right in here where we've got this inflow notch. And again, there's the new radar update. We've got that inflow notch there, and then that circulation back in this area here. And ultimately, that's near Beavertown, moving towards Carrollton. And then ultimately, if it can hold itself together, would cross Highway 82, likely between Reform and Gordo. And again, that new circulation right now passing pretty close to Beavertown. So if you live there, certainly want to be in your safe place, as well as in Carrollton. You want to be in your safe place right now, lowest floor of your home, away from doors and windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And you want to get into a site-built structure. So mobile homes, cars, campers, and RVs are not safe shelter from a storm like this. Tornadoes, even weaker tornadoes, can do significant damage to those. So you want to be in a site-built structure as this thing pushes through. But again, there's that circulation there near Beavertown. This will stay north of Aliceville and ultimately is heading towards Carrollton and State Highway 17. This is cross State Highway 14 now, and now towards Beavertown, and ultimately, if it holds together, will cross State Highway 17 and State Highway 86, pretty close to the city of Carrollton. So if you're watching us in Carrollton right now, you want to get into a safe place as quickly as possible. We'll get some of the latest here from the Weather Service chat. And again, it looks right now like we don't have any confirmation of anything with this. no confirmation of a tornado. We don't have anything to indicate debris on radar. We don't have any reports at this point. It is pretty late at night, so any reports that we do get of any damage could be delayed. But this is completely radar indicated right now. We do have, again, that sort of inflow notch look there. That's the inflow going into the storm, then the rain wrapping back around it. So there's your circulation right there, moving towards Carrollton here within the next few minutes. We'll pop on a storm track and let you see that. Let's see here. You'll just bear with me for one moment. We'll get this storm track on here. Again, this thing's moving at about 45 miles an hour, so ultimately this thing will be in a lowest spring in about 1226. Again, Carrollton, you've got about 7 minutes before this thing's on you, so you need to be in your safe place right now. Ultimately, this thing will be moving towards Bell by about 12:39, and ultimately, if it can hold together, Gordo would be in the path of this, as well as Reform, probably passing between Reform and Gordo, but again, maybe more of a Gordo issue. Certainly want everyone in Reform and Gordo to go ahead and get in their safe place. This may not be able to sustain itself that long, but we do have that circulation there, sort of that inflow notch look there, and then the circulation with that causing that rain to wrap back around with that inflow notch there as well. That rotation does not look quite as impressive as it did a few minutes ago when this warning was issued. It's a little bit weaker and broader now, but again, the area of concern moving towards the city of Carrollton here within the next 5 to 7 minutes or so. You need to be in your safe place if you are in Carrollton. We're going to pop on the Barron button here, and it's a little bit delayed. So what we're going to do is go to the shear rate, sort of show you what we're concerned with. And it's sort of a linear look to this at this point. It's not quite as isolated as it was a few minutes ago. But again, those bright greens, that little point of red there, that's where our highest wind shear is in this storm. That's moving towards Carrollton here, again, within the next few minutes. So you need to be in your safe place right now if you are in the city of Carrollton or near Carrollton. This thing's going to be crossing State Highway 17 in a matter of moments. Lois Spring, Beasley, Saps is where this thing is right now, just passing through Saps, and ultimately is going to be in Carrollton here within a matter of moments. So if you're in the city of Carrollton, you want to go ahead and get in your tornado safe place. And again, there's that circulation right there. It's not the most impressive thing that you will see in the state of Mississippi or Alabama, but we do have that rotation there. Those greens next to the reds on our velocity product here, certainly an indication that we could have a spin-up tornado moving through Pickens County at the moment. Go ahead and check and see if we've got anything, any sort of new reports coming in, and we don't at the moment. Again, we do have meteorologist Jacob Dickey out in the field keeping an eye on this storm, and does have an eye in the field on this, and ultimately if he does see anything, he will let us know. But the good news so far is this is all radar indicated, and again, you see that inflow notch there, the rain wrapping right back around it, so sort of a mini hook echo going on here. That's what's prompting this tornado warning, the radar signatures that we're getting, both on the reflectivity and then the velocity products as well, showing that rotation. But again, this thing is approaching the city of Carrollton right now. We'll keep an eye, we'll take a look and see if we can see anything that might indicate tornado debris, and it's kind of noisy. Again, we look for these lowered values, but this is a really broad view of that, those lower values there. We look for a nice, tight, circular-looking lower value, and you're getting a big line of it, so it's kind of noisy, not a good indication there of anything. Could have something down, but we don't have any confirmation of that right now. So this thing's going to be approaching Carrollton here within a matter of moments. Again, Carrollton sits right here. Your area of concern is just to the southwest. This thing's moving northeast, so ultimately Carrollton, as well as Carlos, Owens, Bostic, Nolan, and ultimately Reform and Gordo are going to be in the path of this thing. And these things are moving pretty quickly right now. So what we can do is zoom out and sort of take a bigger picture of this storm. If you're in Aliceville, if you're in Pickensville, this is not going to impact you at this point. The storm is to the east of you. But again, this storm's really moving quickly. The tornado warning was issued when the circulation was back here towards the state line. It's moving quite quickly. 55 miles an hour is what the National Weather Service is saying. Might be even moving a tick faster than that. So certainly a fast-moving storm, and this will be out of the county here likely by about 12, 12:45 or so. That's when that warning is going to expire. And we'll take a wider view here and show you what's going on. This is really the only storm of interest in our viewing area. We do have a couple of thunderstorms that have redeveloped, showers and storms that have redeveloped back behind this main line of convection. Those are moving through the Golden Triangle right now. Maybe a little bit of light rain through the Tupelo area. That's not going to be severe. The atmosphere has been stabilized by this line of storms. It's just not any juice left after these thunderstorms have used it all to get anything severe back here. But could see some showers continuing. But as far as the severe weather threat, that has pretty firmly for our area shifted into West Alabama. The severe thunderstorm warning that had been in effect for Noxubee County and Lowndes counties has been canceled as those storms have pushed off to the east, and this is very quickly becoming a West Alabama issue. For Lamar County, just dealing with some showers and thunderstorms. Those are below severe limits. The reason we are here right now is for a tornado warning for central Pickens County and central and eastern Pickens County that will go until 12:45 this morning. And ultimately, if it would hold together, this would become a Tuscaloosa County issue, and we would hand this storm over to the Birmingham television market. But we are dealing with this circulation now in the city of Carrollton, and this thing is basically on top of the city now, crossing State Highway 86 and State Highway 17. This thing's sort of going to straddle Highway 86 here for a couple miles and then continue to move off to the north and east, and ultimately would impact places like Gordo and Reform if it can hold together. But again, the area of concern there, right here at the bottom left-hand corner of your bottom left-hand corner of your screen there, approaching the city of Carrollton here within a matter of moments, really on top of the city of Carrollton right now. So if you're in Carrollton, again, you want to go through your tornado safety plan. Lowest floor of your home, away from doors and windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, mobile homes, RVs, anything that is not a site-built structure is not adequate shelter from a tornado. And again, we don't want anybody driving on State Highway 86 or State Highway 17 right now in Pickens County. And ultimately, if you are driving on Highway 82 in Pickens County, you need to go ahead and pull off and find a site-built structure as well and seek shelter there. But again, the area of concern there is near Lois Springs and Carrollton. There's your circulation right in there. And that's the area of concern. There's your new update. And again, Carrollton and Lois Spring, that's where this thing is crossing State Highway 17 right now. And then we may be getting some sort of development here further to the south a little bit. It may have taken a little jump to the south, but again, Carrollton, Lois Spring, and ultimately this thing's going to hold, if it holds together, would become a Reform and Gordo issue. But again, this thing crossing State Highway 17 as we speak and has now crossed State Highway 17. This will be heading towards places like Ebenezer Church Road, Price Brown Road, and then ultimately communities of Bostic and Noland. And then if it can hold together, Gordo would be the next area of concern. This will likely stay south of Reform. Again, we'll account for the fact that these storms can jog to the left or right of the mean flow at times. It can take a left-hand or right-hand turn, but if it stays on the current track, Gordo would be the next big city in the path of this thing as it approaches Highway 82. And again, you can see it's sort of going to straddle Highway 86 and the Highway 86 corridor here over the next couple of minutes as it continues to move off to the north and east. Highway 86 sort of has that east-northeastward jog there as you move eastward through the county. So that's what's going on right now. The Weather Service is going to continue the tornado warning for Pickens County. They still see this rotation and still think it could produce one of those spin-up tornadoes. And again, the area of concern is basically along and south of Carrollton there, just right on the southern side of the city of Carrollton, and again, moving off to the northeast, ultimately impacting areas like Gordo. This rotation does not look quite as impressive as it did when we got the tornado warning issued just a few minutes ago. So we'll pop on the shear rate and clean up some of the noise here. And again, it's not quite as impressive. We're getting a few little, some of these light greens popping up here, but it's not centralized in one area. Again, the area of concern is probably this little pip right here on our shear rate, that bright green, and that will again continue to move off to the north and east. We get a new update, it looks a little more impressive there, and so we'll pop it up, but the velocity data is a lot broader. So what we would expect to see if there was a tornado on the ground would be a really tight circulation, but instead it's much more broad. And that's a good sign that this thing may be losing some of its organization. That's a good sign. Again, we still can't rule out, even with a signature like this, a spin-up tornado dropping down and then picking back up before we get a good look at it with the radar. But it's certainly something we'll keep in mind there, and it's something that we want you to go ahead and go through that, take the course of least regret and get in your safe place. Again, we've got that sort of little beware signature there. It almost looks like a donut hole. Just to the east of Carrollton. We'll circle that there. Again, that little donut hole signature just to the east of the city. You sometimes see that when these circulations get wrapped around with the rain. And I'll say this as well. Don't go trying to go outside and see this thing. Again, we're at 12:30 in the morning, so that it's going to be pitch black. The only way you're going to be able to see it is lightning. But with the rain wrapping completely around this thing, there's just going to be absolutely no way you're going to be able to see this until it is on top of you. So go ahead and get in your tornado safe place. Don't wait to try and see this thing. But again, the area of circulation is along South Highway 86, sort of straddling the State Highway 86. Looks like the best chance for a tornado to be just to the south of that. So if you're on State Highway 86 right now, you need to get off the road and find sturdy shelter. And ultimately, this thing's going to be heading towards the communities of Bostic and Nolan here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. And ultimately, if you can hold together, Gordo, probably within the next 15 minutes or so, if this thing can keep itself together. But we're keeping an eye on the weather chat here, and again, no reports of damage with this storm yet. Very good news, and hopefully we will get through this without anything touching down with it and without any significant damage. But at the moment, this is the only storm that we are really dealing with in our area. We do have some showers and storms rolling through East Mississippi and West Alabama now. Some heavier rain moving through Lamar County, although we're not seeing much in the way of lightning popping up on that. Could be some gusty winds in Lamar County below severe limits. And we have some pop-up showers and storms developing behind this line. There's not much instability to work with back here, so we might see a flash of lightning or two. But other than that, not much in the way of active weather with any of this stuff, just some more rain. But again, the reason we are here is a tornado warning for central and eastern Pickens County. That will go until 12:45 this morning. If you're just joining us, I'm meteorologist Alex Puckett here in the WCBI Weather Center, and we're covering this this tornado warning for Pickens County that will go until 12:45 this morning. And again, basically the next big city in the path of the area of concern, which is right here. This thing's moving northeast at about 55 miles an hour, would be the city of Gordo, probably within the next 15 minutes or so. So if you're in the city of Gordo, course of least regret, go ahead and get in your tornado safe place right now, lowest floor of your home, away from doors and windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. But this thing is really starting to look more like a straight line wind issue. And in fact, just came across, again, we've been talking about this thing looking less and less impressive. The National Weather Service in Birmingham is going to go ahead and cancel the tornado warning that was in effect for Pickens County. We could still see some gusty winds reform back down towards Gordo in the eastern half of the county, but as far as a tornado threat, the rotation just does not look impressive enough. It's not tight enough or strong enough for a tornado warning to continue. So the National Weather Service is going to let the tornado warning go. So with that, we'll take one more wide view of things and show everybody what's going on here. As far as warnings in our area, we are done for the moment, and hopefully done for the rest of the night. I would be pretty surprised if we got any warnings, because basically Lamar and Pickens County, that's as far as we go as far as active tornado warning coverage, and the storms are pushing into the eastern half of those counties now and will likely be out of our viewing area within the next 30 minutes or so. So until later this morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Puckett. Have a great rest of your day.
This has been a WCBI First Alert Severe Weather Update. Stay connected with the First Alert Weather Team online at WCBI.com, on social media, and on your mobile device with the WCBI News app.